What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Elder Scrolls Lore. Today we're going to be talking about the Reman Dynasty that controlled the Reman Empire, the Empire of Cyrodiil, the Second Empire, however else you want to describe it. That is what it was, and that's who they controlled. There are many names for it. So it begins with Reman Cyrodiil, who ruled from 2703 to 2762 of the First Era. He founded the Reman Dynasty and the Reman Empire. He conquered Cyrodiil, Skyrim, High Rock, and Valenwood. He led a joint army of Colovians and Nibians against the Akaviri invaders at the Battle of the Pale Pass. Through this, he was victorious and proclaimed Dragonborn by the Akaviri, and they swore allegiance to him. He was even worshipped as a god by his death, but by the Third Era, he more or less faded into history, and no one really worshipped him anymore. He was considered a worldly god or a conqueror god. He never took up the title of emperor despite the Akaviri people promoting him. And he took up the surname Cyrodiil. So he was not named, or the province of Cyrodiil was not named after him. That should be noted. Now, after his death, his son, Kastav Cyrodiil, was put into place, and he ruled from 2762 to 2806 of the First Era. He ruled after his father. However, he was considered a very poor commander and an incompetent ruler. This led to his disposition as to Reman Cyrodiil II, his son. Although his exact ascension is a bit unknown, he is still considered the second emperor of Cyrodiil. Next we have Reman Cyrodiil II, who ruled from 2860, or wrote that wrong, 2806 to 2851 of the First Era. I wrote that wrong in my notes, I'm sorry. Often referred to as the most magnificent ruler of the Reman Dynasty, Reman Cyrodiil II was only surpassed by his grandfather Reman Cyrodiil. He conquered Hammerfell, Ellisware, and the Somerset Isles. Later he would go on to conquer the province of Blackmarsh. And I use conquer in that sense very lightly with Blackmarsh. So he kind of ruled the outskirts, as did Tiber Septim with the Septim Dynasty. But this overconfidence would lead him to go attack Morrowind, and he would be killed in the Fourscore War at age 57. He would be replaced by his son, Brazolis Dor. He ruled from 2851 to 2877 of the First Era. He continued the war against Morrowind, but remained at a stalemate. The war never really moved past where his father had gone. He had little interest in ruling, but was a very brave warrior and often fought on the front lines of battle. His son, Reman Cyrodiil III, would take his place and ruled from 2877 to 2920 of the First Era. He would also continue the war against Morrowind. However, his constant paranoia would hurt his reign. In attempts to make a treaty after a stunning victory led by his very gifted son, Prince Juliek, he would be assassinated by the Morag Tong, and along with his son, Juliek. He had no other heirs, and thus the Reman Dynasty would actually come to an end, and this is where the dynasty and the bloodline end off. However, it is worth noting that the Reman Empire still existed without the Reman Dynasty, and they had this position called the Akaviri Potentates, or Protector, along the lines of that, and they would reign between 2920 of the First Era to 430 of the Second Era, and these would consist of two rulers, Residue Shay, who ruled from 2920 of the First Era to 324 of the Second Era, and Severian Chorak, who ruled from 324 to 430 of the Second Era. Now, Residue Shea would actually stabilize the empire that was basically crumbling all around him after the death of the last Reman, of the Reman Dynasty, and would do very well at his job and in his position. And despite the rumors that he actually had the emperor assassinated, he was actually assassinated himself by the Morag Tong as well. Now, Severian Chorak was the son of Residue Shea, and he tore the empire apart to get complete control. He wanted total dominance. However, he would recognize Orsinium as an imperial province, but this action would also lead him be assassinated by the Morag Tong in 430 of the Second Era. Now the continent would collapse into chaos after no ruler was found able to unite the empire. However, Tiber Septim would end this chaos and be found as the true heir to the Reman line in 854 of the Second Era. Thus, the Third Era would dawn. That's it, guys. That was the Reman Dynasty. The Reman Dynasty is somewhat interesting to see about how difficult they had things with the Morag Tong, and really this war with Morrowind that just tore the whole thing apart. Like, imagine if they never invaded Morrowind and tried to go for that complete dominance, or learn from their mistakes from attacking the Argonians in Blackmarsh. It's crazy to think that the Reman Dynasty did so well to fall so far, and really they didn't last long. The Reman line did not last long, and it's tough to see that is what happened. Like, they conquered almost all of Tamriel with the exception of Morrowind. And that is incredible to see. And the only person to ever unite all of Tamriel was Tiber Septim eventually, and he was seen as the true heir. But was he the true heir? But regardless of that, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This is a very unique kind of term or concept, I should say. Sorry, got fumbled with my words. But I had a lot of fun covering it, and I don't know what I'll be doing next for this. This is episode 4. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a really fun topic to cover, and if you want more content like this, or you have any I'm sorry, any suggestions, please let me know. Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a like. I would gladly, cover any topics you guys have to suggest as well. And I will see you guys around. I'm sorry that I'm getting really stumbled on my words. I'm still trying to recover from being sick. And yeah, that's really all I got left to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys consider subscribing too. That's always nice. I post Monday through Friday, and I'll see you guys around. Peace.